They're new, but I'll give you. Ooh, now we're, boy, I don't want to do what we were going to do. We're gonna cancel what I was going to do because I don't want to.
No.
Oh, I'm going to do it. All right, full wrench. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. I'm truly nervous.
Beatles.
No, I'm not going to sing the Beatles. If someone would have sang with me, I would have done it. I would have had the guts to sing the Beatles, but no. Where, did I bring the clipboard up here?
No.
I need the clipboard. Mm-hmm. I'd like to make sure we're linking this clipboard. Okay, I'm scared. Gosh, I'm scared. This is something that I don't normally do, and what it's called is other people's material. This is blatant at its best. Oh boy, this is a little skit. As long as we're in the '60s mode and doing old things, this is truly old. This is the oldest thing we've done. This is older than a lot of the people in this class. This was recorded in 1960. What's wrong with 1960? We were coming out of a recession. We were coming out of a recession. It was a good year. How many people remember 1960? How many people are old enough to remember that? I am not old enough to remember it very vividly. But this is a little thing. Boy, I hope I can do this. This is something that a guy went on to be. He was very famous then and getting a lot of public notice. But he went on to be very famous as yes, Tiny T. He went on to be Tiny T. He didn't. He went on to be Dick Loudon. And yeah, Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart. This is a Bob Newhart sketch. I'm going to attempt to do it justice. And boy, attempt is the best word I can come up with right now. Okay, this is a sketch that he did, and it's called The Driving Instructor. Now, the driving instructor has the toughest job in America. Every day he leaves home, he's not sure if he's going to come back. America's driving instructors, and it's the toughest job in the world because you're dealing with people who you want to call incompetent, but it's your job to sit there and build them up. And that's the premise. And we'll start here. Picture me as being in a car, sitting on a bar stool. Seated next to me, this is the way it's written, so don't go, is a woman driver. See? I didn't write. Okay, cool. So, here we go. I'm the driving instructor. Seated next to me, a woman driving. How do you do? Mrs. Webb, is that right? I see. I see you've already had one lesson. Mm-hmm. And who was that with, Mrs. Webb? Mr. Adams. I see. Here it is, Mr. Adams. Mrs. Webb, give me just one second to familiarize with my case here as I read down. Mrs. Webb, how fast were you going when Mr. Adams jumped from the car? 75. Is that right? And where was this? In your driveway. I see. You were backing out of your driveway at 75, and that's when he jumped. I see. Mrs. Wood, how far did Mr. Adams gotten in the lesson? Backing out. I see. Did he cover starting the car? He did. And the other way of stopping, Mrs. Webb? What's the other way of stopping? Throwing it in reverse. You're right. That would do it. That would do it. All right, Mrs. Webb. Would you like to start the car? Those are the lights, Mrs. Webb. They all look alike. I don't know why they designed them that way. Do you want to start the car? That was fine. Okay. The first thing we're going to do before we back up is something that I like to start off with. What did Mr. Adams have you do before you backed up? Besides praying. I was thinking more along the lines of checking the rearview mirror. We always have to check the rearview mirror and stop! I'm sorry, Mrs. Webb. Please don't cry. It's just that there was this bus and. Oh, okay, that was fine. Why don't we pull out into traffic now? That's good. Maybe you might want to try it a little slower this time. Okay. Build up a little speed, and let's ease it into second. Well, I didn't want to cover reverse this early, but as long as you've shifted into it. Of course you're nervous. I'm very nervous. No, I'm not just saying that. I'm really very nervous. Never mind the honking. You're doing just fine. No, you're not blocking anyone's lane. No, I'm sure you're not blocking anyone's lane. As long as we're here on the safety island, you're not blocking. You want to start the car, Mrs. Webb? While you're turning off the lights, could you turn off the heater? Why don't we practice some turns? Right here would be fine. Now, Mrs. Webb, that was a fine turn. I find it hard to believe that you've only had one lesson. Is that right? That was a beautiful turn. The only problem is this is a one-way street. No, don't get up. It was partially my fault again. You were in the left-hand lane and you were signaling left. I more or less assumed you were turning left. Same to you, fella. I don't know what he said. Maybe we ought to try some alley driving. This is something a lot of the schools leave out, but I think it's pretty important. Why don't we just pull up into the... You're going too fast, Mrs. Webb! Mrs. Webb, that was a rather tight turn, and you were up around 60. Mrs. Webb, I think we ought to stop right here. Mrs. Webb, you're not going to make it between the building and the truck, Mrs. Webb. I don't think you're going to... I really didn't think you were going to make it. That's okay. I'll get on your side. Maybe it's the traffic. Maybe it's the traffic that throws you. Maybe if we went over to the driving instructor area. There's a little student area a couple blocks from here. Maybe if we go over there. It's just a couple blocks up here. Turn right up here. Well, again, that's my fault. I meant the next street, not this man's lawn. Sir, could you turn down the sprinkler? Newly seated, is that right? That's always the way, isn't it? No, I don't suppose that is so funny, is it? Mrs. Webb, you want to back out? Sorry, creepy and bent, is that right? You want to back out, Mrs. Webb? No, Mrs. Webb, we've hit somebody. Remember we talked about looking in the rearview mirror? The red light blinded you. The flashing red light blinded you? The flashing red light on the car you hit blinded you. Yes, officer, she was just telling me about it. I understand. Mrs. Webb, the officer wants me to come down to the office, or down to the station with him. It seems that they don't believe it, and they'd like me to describe it. The other officer is going to get in the car and drive you back to the instruction area, and you'll join us later at the police station. What's that, Mrs. Webb? My name? It's Frank Dexter. Why do you ask? You want to get me next time?
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. For those of you who couldn't tell me that was Charlie Beeler. Sister Flo, and
the scenes in Larry Stockton.
yeah, Larry Gold as Larry. An inspired role. Inspired role. That was fantastic. Oh God,
see. Right now, we had some things planned that weren't able to come off because Rick Curtis is home sick, and we miss Rick. I miss Rick. I always miss Rick. So we are going to have another mixer because Larry said, "Boy, that mixer went so well last night, Doug. And people really seemed to get to know each other. Boy, we became a unit. We became, what was the word he used? Something like that." And he said, "We should do that again." And I thought, well, Larry, that's a good idea. But I thought, just looking around, it seemed like, I don't know. People just didn't really seem to know how to meet someone. I mean, it just seems so alien to us because a lot of us, we're attached to our spouse, our wife, or husband, and we kind of sit there and we say, I don't really want to meet anybody else. I got my security right here, and I'm going to stick with that. So I thought it'd be a good idea because I work with the public every day. Not only do I work with the public, I work with senior citizens. How many people have ever worked with senior citizens? Oh, you're lying because you can't work with them. There's nothing you can do. They're going to do what they want, regardless of what the consequences are. They are the funnest people in the world, the most genuine people in the world. Our senior citizens are great. It's almost like they revert to a childhood, and I'm not going to expound upon that because I'm going to step on some toes. But if you ever get a chance, I didn't mean that. But I thought it'd be a great opportunity for me to show you how I do it. And most of the people I deal with, I work at a Safeway store. I'm an assistant manager at a Safeway store. And everybody I deal with, or 99% of the people I deal with, are mad. They come up to me, not to say, "Doug, gosh, it's great to see you today." No, they don't say that. They come up and say, "Boy, I'm even mad it's your fault." And most of the things that go wrong are my fault. So I thought it'd be great if I show you just how I meet somebody. And I thought, there's somebody here who I'd really like to meet. I don't really know them, and they're really nice people. And I'd like to take it step by step how I get to know someone in a very short time. So I'm going to ask Joe Kaufman to come up here, and I'm going to get to know Joe Kaufman. Here she comes. I've got Jill up here, and let's meet Jill. First, I'd like to start out with just a question that puts people at ease, breaks down the barriers. How old are you, Jill? That's very nice. You have a very nice nose. How much did that cost you? That's something you only say if they have a nice nose. She's paying me. See how I can influence people? No, no. And then we just do things like that. Ask nice questions. Jill, 31. So you kind of you went to high school in the early 70s. You graduated in the early 70s, didn't you? I wasn't implying that you might not. In fact, I should have given you an out there. See, I put her on the spot there. If she hadn't graduated, she would have felt terrible. So, Joe, you're probably a big Beatles fan, right? I knew she was. What's your favorite Beatles song? I didn't say anything. I have a theory about people who keep secrets. Would you like me to share that with you for a second night in a row? I think not. Jill, tell them. What's your favorite Beatles song? Jill is obviously too touched. You didn't say another word. What's your favorite Beatles? I know. And I do too. Have you gotten over their breakup yet? No, she hasn't. And I can see that. It was a sensitive subject. He wore pajamas and a hat and teddy bear. What was your favorite monkey song? Oh gosh, that's so true. They had so many giant, awesome talents, and they're back together now, being awesome talents again. Jill, no. Jill, I know everything about you now. Well, not really. I don't know anything about you. I do know this. I'm not lying when I say I don't know Jill. I've known Jill for years, although I haven't talked to her. Well, to be honest with you, the last word I ever said to Jill was on my wedding day, and that was in April of 1980. And then, out of the blue, a few months ago, Jill did something very special for me. I was standing in the lobby all by myself, and no one had really done this to this time. And I want to put Jill on the spot here. Jill came up to me and asked me how I was doing and talked to me about life in general. And I have never forgotten that, and I never will. Jill is one of the most special people I've ever met in my whole. I'm not just saying that. I'm switching gears here. I mean that. I've met. I don't get out as much as I'd like, but I do. I'm doing this. Jill, I used to tease Jill back in Manna more than anyone, just like I did just now. And she never once got mad at me, or at least never let me know she was mad at me. And I just want to say that I brought her up here to say how special it was to be up here again with her and to talk with her. She's a neat person, and if we ever do a real mixer again, court her. Jump right in and talk to her. She's a neat person. Thanks, Jill. That was good.
No.
Has anyone ever used one of these things?
And live.
Fine. We're going the right way. It's the right setup. That's what we needed. First of all, we need to announce the winner of the Jewel Bound Lookalike Contest for the third year in a row at Cheryl T. In the lakeside line. Just kidding. Pick up the keys down at the dealership. Oh, goodness. We need some help on this one. How many people are Beatles fans? How many people liked the Beatles at one time and are willing to admit it? A lot of people. You like the Beatles? What was your favorite song? They only had
I want to hold your hand.
Let's sing one. I'll sing it with you if I know the words. What's your favorite song? No, I'm making a fool of myself. And I can do that. That's still English. Okay, I need help. Lord was going to help me, I think. I don't know where he is. He's gone. He doesn't even know he's going to help me. Tom Cheshire. I need Tom Cheshire up here. We're going to sing a song. We're going to break up into groups, and there's really no delineation here. So what we're going to do is we'll do something really special here. We'll break it up into like demographic groups. And I'm not sure exactly. Oh, because I want to. Okay, first the low part. The low part I'm going to just give to the women. Right off, you've got the low part, the first part. The second part is going to be done by the guys under 28 years old. The third part, don't lie. Don't you lie. And the third part is going to be by guys over 28 years old. If you fall in the middle, if you're 28 years old, go on the over, okay? Because I'm 28, and I'm going to do the over. So follow my lead. I'm following. We're going to sing a little song that I was reminded of. And I'll tell you, I'm driving up here. I don't know how many of you came on Highway 17 through San Jose, and boy, that wasn't pretty, was it? What I did with my partner in life, you're right, Reese, we went up through Half Moon Bay and down the coast, and it was about 3 o'clock or so. It was really nice. There were, it was beautiful. The sun was out, and there were no wind surfaces to speak of. And it was a nice time, but I was so reminded of the beach, and the beach always reminds me of one thing, and that's really the 60s and the Beach Boys. And I thought, no! and I thought to myself, which is my favorite way, I I thought, what a great thing. Let's do a Beach Boys song. We're near the beach and everything. Let's get in the spirit. I brought... I'm going to try to put it on because I'm making a styling statement here with this shirt, so I'm not sure this one will work. I can't. This is good enough. We're going to sing a song this song begs your audience participation. This is a great song to sing as a group. We're going to feel closer after this. Much too close. We're going to sing Barbara Ann. Okay, the girls have the first part. It's the low part. And what key are we going to do? I'm not a musician, so I don't know. We'll do it. Okay, we'll start it. I like to do it high personally because that puts the guys over 28 in a real bad spot. I have not rehearsed. I haven't sang a song in front of anyone in 7 years. This is going to be the most humbling experience of my young life. Okay, the girls are going to. Okay, let's try. Ba ba ba. Can you do that? Ba ba ba. Okay, and we're going to give that part. Lori's going to lead that for us. He's going to do a fantastic job. I have confidence in him. He's done this kind of thing before. Tom is going to do the second one. So where are we? Ba 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 ba. Okay, so that's the guys under 28. Are going to do that part. And here is a good part. This is that was a girl. Okay. The girls have the low part. All the girls have the low part. Well, the guys come in at this part. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The colors are just to make it pretty. Don't just worry about the guys over 28 have to worry about the red. That's our part. It has to be serious.
You didn't use yellow at all up there.
Because it doesn't show up. It doesn't show up.
Mary's my attorney.
It doesn't show up. Surly crowd. We need an attitude adjustment. And then the guys, and this is going to be hard. I'll try to do this. I've been sick, and this might be hard. And we went long so that the snap bar's close. I don't even belt. Okay. Okay, we're going to go. Okay, can you do that? You guys do that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's start it out. Try and follow this. I'll try to point it out as you go. I already see ba 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 ba. Then you're going to repeat that. Now you're repeating that. The older guy is going to be singing this part, and we're going to go into the chorus where everybody sings. Can you read this? You got me rocking and rolling, ba ba ran, ba 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 ran. Okay, so we're going to do this. Ba 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 ran. No. And after the chorus, then you guys sing. Went through the dance. We'll do it. We'll do it. Oh, yeah. This will be fun. Okay, roll that. Lauren start. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Who would think that's a dream?
You guys, I'm not listening to you. part. Sing this part. Okay. Went to a dance, looking for romance, saw a friend, so I thought they get more romance. That's how you gotta do it. It's gotta come from down here. Right in this area is where I get it, man.
All through the list.
Okay, let's take it from the chorus. We're doing really well on this. We'll edit this, and it's going to sound great. We're going to sell this at the bookstore. How many people knew that? How many people are going to get a copy from their parents? I am. You're going to be proud of me. Okay. Let's take it from the top. Go ahead. Let's take it from the top. No, you're not going to. He knows it by now. Go ahead. I'm ready. Everyone's idea. We're going to have to go right into the bridge. It's going to be impossible. Let's skip the bridge. Let's throw it out. We didn't try Peggy Sue or Mary Sue or Betty Lou. We didn't try any of those people. We're just going to go right to the bottom and go with Barbara Ann because we're trying the guitar solo, and I've realized that. I realized it's only beautiful as a whole. It just won't work. Well, let's just take it from Barbara Ann, and we're going to end it right here.
Not to show this tape to Chris.
No one's incriminated themselves like you're at. Okay. You can't sing it without harmony, and I'd be happy to sing it. We'll provide I'm not afraid of anything. Here is that dark room inside of all of us where we develop our negatives. Just remember that. No. We're done. And that'll be fun. You know anything? You know some?
Jerry and the Businessmakers. Yeah.
That would be great. Let's sing Ferry Across the Mersey. Good. We use our British accent. It won't work. And it's you people are the reason it won't work. Right now, we're in a 60s mood right now. I'm in a 60s mood. And the Motown sound is the 60s, as far as I'm concerned. And as far as we're all concerned, it wasn't, but they like to say that because the only thing Detroit has to be proud of is that don't knock it. Right now, we're going to bring out a group of people that I'm just pleased to present. Diana, Mary, Flo, and her sister Flo, the Supremettes. Whoa, thanks very much. I really didn't want to do that. Oh, boy. I'm still nervous. Are you very nervous? I'm not just saying that. I'm very nervous. Mark is going to help me with this. They start at the top. Mark? You going to look over my shoulder? I'll try and hold it so you can see. Right now, we'd like to shift gears considerably. At least I would. hopefully you will too. We'll try and calm down. You know, in Matthew 18, it says, Jesus says that if we want to enter the kingdom of heaven, we must humble ourselves as a child. We must become children. And I know for some of you that's a bigger dip than for me, but I'm not talking about age. Don't get up. And what I want to do now is read you a bedtime story. It's a good story. This is a book by Shel Silverstein, again keeping in our 60s theme. This was first published in '64. I didn't know we had a 60s theme until I made one up. And it's called The Giving Tree. And Mark is going to help me. I can't show you the illustration, so we've made transparencies. We've gone to great expense and considerable pain to make these transparencies. We'll get started. Once there was a tree. And a little boy. And every day the boy would come. The boy really does come. And he would gather her leaves. No, not at all.
You're in the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll move back. No, I'm not in the way. Maybe if I sit on the floor. I will. I'm not about this. You guys read the bylaws? No fruit props. Okay, let's sit on the floor. Okay, you gather these. Oh, stop. Can you see them? And make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. Did we lose that one? And the boy loved the tree very much. And the tree was happy. But time went by. And the boy grew older. And the tree was off of the Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches, and eat apples and play in my shade, and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples." "Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money, and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed the tree and gathered So the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. Then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, come climb up my trunk and swing from my branches, and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife. I want children. And so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house. But you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you'll be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time. And when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered. "Come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing from them." "I am too old to swing from branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. I really like that book. That book was first shared with me by Mark Levins. Well, it was. I sat in once on his high school Sunday school class, and we read that, and I thought, boy, I don't really know what to make of that book. There are endless parallels to the Christian life in that book, and the one that I wanted to bring to mind, and you might have had others, was a verse, Galatians 6:9, which says, "And do not lose heart in doing what is good, for in due time you shall reap if you do not grow weary." And I thought that was great. And I was thinking of the book the whole time that Bob Carter was speaking on compassion, and I was thinking, what a great parallel this book is to that. Here's a tree that just gave everything to this boy, and it just kept giving, and it wasn't always getting anything in return, but it kept giving because that's what it wanted to do, was to make the boy happy. And in the end, the boy came back and made the tree happy. I think it's a great book. Thanks for being such a great class. It's been fun. That's really it for the evening. You're welcome to do whatever you like now.